Hey guys, Philosopher here, and today I have my top 10 to invest in for the month of June 2021. This is a special list. It's almost always our most liked video every month, and thank you all for that. And what this list is it's something a little different than you may have seen elsewhere. This is not a list of the top 10 characters in the game. So you're not going to see characters like Thanos on the list or Ebony Maw, characters like that. They're fantastic characters, but their best days are behind them. What this is a list of is 10 characters that I'm confident are going to have value in the future. And I'll tell you, that's not an easy thing to predict in this game. There's lots of power creep. There's lots of change. Every month, everything is just getting absolutely topsy-turvy in this game. And that's the way Scopely likes it, right? Because they want you to keep investing in the new characters. They want to tempt you to buy them and all that sort of thing. That's literally how this game goes. Power creep is the name of the game. And so the way you get ahead in this game is by investing in characters who are going to hold their value over time. That's what this list is all about. I will also tell you that this list is not just my opinion. I sent out preliminary lists out to several different players, top players who I respect very highly, who are endgame players, and get different views, and I really try to take everyone's views into account and come up with a consensus. Now, if you were paying attention last month, this was the list that we had last month, and it's going to change quite a bit. There's a lot of change this month, in particular, more than most months, and I really think this is a difficult list to get right this month, and that's because of this team right here, the Infinity Watch. We now have a new arena meta on the horizon. This is going to be the best team in the game. We've already seen just the 4 characters on their own crush everything, right? With any kind of reasonable 5th character. So how do you make a list like this when you have characters like Infinity Watch? And I did have one top player in particular just say, hey, put them all on the list. But I've decided not to do that for a couple reasons. One, and the main one is, not all of these characters are viable outside their team. So I will tell you that me and my alliance mates have tried in difficulty 1 of Doom Raid to get Gamora to work, Phyla-Vell, Moondragon, Nebula. And really, Phyla-Vell just does not work in difficulty 1 at all with the symbiotes. She stands around while the symbiotes take a lot of turns. Nebula is not any help in the tech section of the Doom Raid at all. And Gamora and Moondragon have some solo viability. They are viable together. I think they may be more viable in the future. We'll talk a little bit about that. Adam Warlock, I expect him to be viable solo, but I don't have him on the list, and I'm going to have him as a special case because he's not in the game yet. And I know a lot of content creators give you their speculation or their guess. I don't like doing guesses. What I like to do is take the characters that we know and that we've tried and that we've tested and tell you what I know versus what I speculate. So I'm not going to do that here. But this is a very difficult one. And part of the other calculus is, how much do you value Arena? Because this looks to be the Arena meta. But one thing I will say is I do think Arena as a game mode is becoming less important than it used to be. I used to always tell players, everyone was so focused on Arena that Dark Dimension was the most important game mode than Arena. Now, I got to tell you, Raid is becoming way more important because of that blue ISO. Right now, we all get our red stars up to whatever level we get them at our level of competition. And people all kind of tend to have the same red stars. People who, maybe at your level, everyone has 3 red stars or 4 red stars. But they all kind of average out. But one thing that some guilds have or some alliances have and some don't is going to be this blue ISO. I think it's going to really differentiate certain characters and certain rosters from others. So I think Raid is becoming more important. So that is factoring into my calculus a little more than it may have in the past. All right, so now we're going to go to this month's list, the new list. All right, and I'm going to tell you first who is off the list from last month. So what we have off the list from last month is Hela. Hela was very fantastic and in the Doom Raid when we were doing First Strike. But now that I moved to difficulty 1, that has literally 75% more damage, 35% more health, she's just not cutting it. And to give you a sense of as to why, if you look at Hela's health, my Hela has 258,000 health. When you compare that to, I don't know, Dr. Doom, he's got 722. Hela's literally getting one shot. I just think her days are numbered. Not really using her much in raid anymore. The war offense team that she was so good on for a while, Hela Natural, not really as important now. She's still useful. I still use her in war. I'm using her for now in raid, but I think she very well may be the character that I drop off for Adam Warlock, and I currently drop her on the second node, Mystic node for Mordo anyway. Other characters that are out, Taskmaster's team is getting rolled now in War Defense by the Skilletary team. Emma Frost is leaving the arena meta, and she's really not as super important anywhere else anymore in raids or war. White Tiger, her team is good, but Shadowland's not really the top dog in Alliance War offense, and they're kind of a war offense only team. All right, guys, now let's get to the honorable mention. So as you can see here, first honorable mention is Doc Ock. And I will tell you, I'd love to rate Doc Ock higher. This is the first legendary I unlocked at 7 stars. Very excited about the character when he came out, but never really fulfilled his promise. I always thought that he had a great solo kit and he'd end up being part of an arena meta, but it didn't happen even after Black Order was defeated. And his team is really becoming less and less important on war defense because the Symbiotes and Axemen eat up his summon. So why is he an honorable mention? Well, he has things in his kit that will stand the test of time. Resistance to offense down is really helpful. I think that's a fantastic feature that he has there. Of course, he's also got that summon, which makes him very valuable. And he's really a core part of your tech team in the Doom Raid. Do you need him? No. Are there people in my alliance who are, clearing their lane without Doc Ock? Yes. But he's a good character who's good in raid, good in war, and certainly worth an honorable mention because I think his kit will last the test of time. All right, and now we're going to go to our next honorable mention, and that is Night Nurse. Night Nurse is a fantastic character who, in my opinion, is very, very underrated. And right now, I really can't see doing the Doom Raid without her, okay? She is ridiculous in those skill nodes. And why is that? Well, first of all, she's got 2 different heals that are available on turn 1. Every third turn, this cleanses and is a big heal. Her ultimate flips negative effects on herself and then is a heal available every 4 turns. Then her passive, whenever she gets under 50% max health, she gets speed bar and defense up, which reduces incoming damage by 50%. She also has a chance to heal on her turn, plus she has that ISO heal. I mean, she is the best pure healer we have right now in the game. So why did she move to honorable mention? Okay, this is down from, Doc Ock got moved down from number 5 on the list. She got moved down from number 8. Well, it's because of a character that we know is coming, okay? A character we've known about. I did a video on him, Captain Sam. Captain Sam is going to be feeding a ton of ability energy to skill allies. I think he's going to make Moondragon much more useful as a healer. So I think Night Nurse is going to become less important. There are people skipping her now on certain nodes in Doom already. So I think, Night Nurse is still part of a fantastic war offense team. Don't get me wrong. She's still a fantastic character, but let's face it, she's not as essential as she once was. Still a character, though, I think you can be pretty safe with this investment for at least the next 4 to 6 months. So definitely a good character to invest in. That's why she's an honorable mention. All right, now we're going to go to our next honorable mention, and that is Black Bolt. So Black Bolt is a fantastic character. Obviously, at one point, he kind of, ruled the game. He was the amazing character. I still remember unlocking him for the first time. And, I thought he was a character who was totally power crept and on the downslope. But you know what? He has seen new life in Alliance War offense, particularly due to Heroes for Hire. He prevents revives characters killed by Black Bolt cannot be revived. That is fantastic. That is really helpful there. And of course, we have revive mechanics in Infinity Watch. So I think he's useful there. He's in the honorable mentions, though, because even though he had fantastic stats on release, he's definitely been power crept. And I really feel like there's going to be better answers for Infinity Watch over time. You know, Infinity Watch really seems to me not like a whole year-long arena meta the way that Black Order was, where they were selling us 3 new characters and a legendary gated behind a legendary. You know, particularly since 2 of the characters are so farmable and the other 2 are being released in relatively free-to-play friendly methods. I really think that, you know, Infinity Watch is a team that might rule arena for, you know, 3 to 6 months until they introduce, you know, the Eternals or the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse or something to kick their butts. So I think, you know, Black Bolt's useful. I think this, you know, this has taught us that he has some use, even if he isn't the top damager anymore because of this mechanic. But let's not get carried away. That's why he's an honorable mention. All right, now we're going to get to our special cases, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this here, but the point is that Adam Warlock's not in the game. I already explained why I'm not ranking characters who aren't in the game. And then Colleen Wing, Nebula, and Phyla-Vell. I've already talked about Nebula and Phyla-Vell. They're fantastic on their team. You need them all on the team. You want Gamora to be empowered turn 1 and all of that, but they just aren't useful outside the team. And, you know, Nebula is not assisting anybody if she's not on the team. Phyla-Vell's amazing stats, amazing damage stat. Looks good on paper, but just not really helpful with the symbiotes and bio. So, you know, I really just see them as members of the team. Kind of think about like Corvus Glaive on Black Order. Character you invested in because you're building up the team. So if you're building up this for the arena meta, you're going to invest on them because of the team. But as soon as this team isn't the top dog, their value goes way down. They're team dependent. They're members of the team only. Colleen Wing, the most important member of Heroes for Hire to gear up big. But, you know, Heroes for Hire, I've said before, very skippable unless you're an end game player who's not only well past DD4, but is really focused on Alliance War. So now, let's get to number 10. The number 10 character on this list. That's Symbiote Spider-Man. You know, Symbiote Spider-Man is an oldie but goodie, in my opinion. And I've, you know, had this. He's been the oldest character on this list for quite some time. Fantastic character who is a safe bet in the short run to be, you know, needed for the bio nodes and useful for City Dark Dimension. Now, here's the thing. He's down a slot. Why is that? Well, not only are there new characters, but in difficulty 1, when the enemies have 35% more health and armor, yeah, I got to tell you, these symbiotes are struggling. It really makes, this is now the hardest section of the raid for us, and it really makes me think that Scopely is going to be trying to sell us new bio characters soon. What I do think, though, is if the team survives to any extent and gets hybridized, let's say Spider-Gwen came out tomorrow. Who are you going to replace in the team? Not Symbiote Spider-Man, not Anti-Venom. Those 2, I think, are very safe investments on the team, even if it gets hybridized. You know, unless they sell us a whole new bio rating team, I think he is a very, very safe bet. And certainly for Dark Dimension, he's a safe bet as well. All right, and now we're going to go to number 9, and number 9 is Red Guardian. And Red Guardian is a character who I really had a lot of trouble deciding where to put on this list, okay? He's actually down 2 spots because of Captain Sam. I think Captain Sam, if you can get him, is going to be a better choice for the skill nodes in the Doom Raid than Red Guardian. Like right now, Red Guardian's an auto-include on all 3 nodes. But I'll tell you, Captain Sam looks a lot better than him, okay? However, first of all, not everyone's going to get Captain Sam, okay? And if you don't have access to Captain Sam, then Red Guardian is a fantastic choice. I mean, I have no problem, even in difficulty 1 with the skill nodes with Kestrel, Night Nurse, Red Guardian, etc. But also, separate and apart from that, this character taunts on spawn and gives himself defense up. He's really one of only a couple characters that do it. And I got to tell you, I still use Drax in Alliance War. I've actually been putting ISO and gear and stuff on Drax because I'm still using him today, years later, in Alliance War. Having that taunt on Spawn is great, and this character is way, way better than Drax. I use him in War. He's part of a meta War offense team. Even when that team gets power crept, I expect to use Red Guardian as a solo character in War. I'll use him occasionally in raids. I certainly use him in the 4.3 raids. So I just think he's a valuable character, and he's just a safe bet. He's going to be around for a long time because of this pre-taunt and the defense up to 2 turns that he applies on Spawn. All right, and now we're going to go to number 8, and that is Baron Zemo. You know, Baron Zemo is a character who's a little bit hard to peg as to where to fit him. Just a couple months ago, this guy was much higher on the list. You know, he's tumbled quite a bit even on this round, down 3 spots. You know, because I was using him in every game mode. I mean, I promoted him up to 6 red star because I was using him in arena offense, arena defense, war offense, raid, you know, on the Doom raid. But, you know, now I use him on one node, the second node of the skill nodes in the Doom raid. He is useful on war offense. Sometimes you see him on war defense. He's definitely very plug and play. He's got a great kit that I think will stand the test of time because he's got a lot of speed. Speed's always good. Ability block on turn 1, buff clear, and so forth. But he's going to be out of the arena meta in just a few days when we get Adam Warlock. So it's really hard for me to get as excited about Zemo as I was just last month. But I do think he's got a very safe character to invest in. A very good character. He's definitely brittle for game modes like Dark Dimension and Raid. But he is a very good character, and I feel pretty confident having him on the list. Now let's go to number 7. We've got a character that is near and dear to my heart. A character I was so controversial when I put him on the list initially. Not anymore, and that is Longshot, down 3 spots to number 7. So why is he on here? And by the way, Shatterstar has lost his spot. Sort of. He's now just kind of in this spot with Longshot, kind of the way that, you know, I've often in the past I've had Bishop with Jubilee, that sort of thing, because these are really a pair that you're running together. I will say this. Longshot is still a very safe bet in this game, and the X Factor are, because they don't even have their 5th member yet. And I've heard rumors that they're going to have up to 8 members. So I think, you know, this team's going to get better. And people in my alliance are using Longshot and Shatterstar with the 3 Axemen in Doom Raid difficulty 1. So you can use them in Raid. Right now, they're arena meta. There's people in arena holding top 5 spots with Longshot and Shatterstar, even on war defense or on arena defense, because they're high damage and high RNG and all that. However, when Infinity Watch is here, no one believes that Infinity Watch is going to be beaten by X Factor. Why? Because the devs literally put in text in the passive of one of the characters saying that enemies will crit less against Infinity Watch. They did that to make sure the Dad Bros didn't beat them. So I really think, you know, these characters are fantastic. They're just not the top dogs. Feel very good about an investment in them, but they have definitely been power crept out. But look, I invested in this character back in December. It's now June. This is exactly what this list is supposed to be about. I invested high in this character in December, and then I promoted him up to the 7th red star in January. It's now June. Still on the list, just not quite the top dog. I'm sure they're going to have him and Shatterstar are going to still be on this list for some time to come. That's why they're on here. So now we finally have our first new character. And at number 6, that is Moondragon. Now, why do I have Moondragon at number 6 on this list? Because I believe she is going to be viable outside of this team, particularly in raids with Captain Sam feeding her energy. She's a lot like Ebony Maw, a character who has amazing kit, but very long cooldowns. You know, 6-turn cooldown on her ultimate, 5-turn cooldown on her special. But if she has somebody like Captain Sam feeding her a ton of ability energy all the time, she's a monster, right? Because she clears all of the positive effects from the enemy, does that speed bar reduction, applies slow, and a 30% heal. Here, she's going to do a 30% heal with the T4, apply defense down for 2 turns to all enemies. Super, super powerful as long as she's getting ability energy. So I really think this is a character is not only part of a great team that's going to be, the arena meta and top war offense and all that, but also a very valuable character on her own, most likely with certain other characters like Captain Sam and or Gamora. She obviously is going to help Gamora become empowered faster as well. All right. And now we have number 5, and that is Bishop. Now, I got to tell you, this was a really challenging one for me because, first of all, Bishop is not good on his own. He really needs Jubilee and Beast to do well. He's also a character that is really raid only. I mean, the Axemen are not, they're just okay in war. They're good in war offense. They're not great. They're not the best. They're not great really at anything. They're not going to ever be in your arena meta, but they're very, 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 very good at mutant raids. And I am confident that if a new player asks me, what should I invest in for mutant raiding? You invest in the X-Men, and they're a safe bet. This is going to be your mutant raiding team for the next 6 months. Okay? The full X-Men team are better than a hybrid team, but you can't hybridize them with the Dad Bros or a couple other strong characters as long as you have Jubilee and Beast on the team, but it's better to run the full team. And Bishop is the guy you want big on the team. You want him to be a striker. You want him to be huge. He gets lots of killing blows, and then Jubilee gives everyone in the team speed bar. He's up because now more than ever, now that I'm in difficulty 1, I could see that this team is so important for the Doom Raid. And the Doom Raid is more important than it's ever been in the past. All right, now for another new character, number 4. You can kind of see her right here. And that is Gamora. Gamora is a character who, if anything, I have her 4th best character to invest in. You may think, should she be higher? Because she's been so hyped. I mean, if I watch other content creators, super, super hyped. Here's my thoughts on Gamora. Gamora is fantastic. And one thing is for sure, even though Phyla-Vell has a higher damage stat, Gamora is the one putting out most of the damage on Infinity Watch, and she really is the one that makes the team go damage-wise in so many ways. And she's actually good on her own in Doom Raid. Better, I think, with Moondragon because she gets to her empowered state faster, but very, very good character. But here's the thing, guys. More than anything, you have to realize she is a kind of a pile of stats. I mean, this is a character who is a super, super damager. And right now she is the top damager. But just remember, a few months ago, we were super excited about White Tiger and how amazing of a damager White Tiger was. And the last month, people were so excited about the damage of Colleen Wing and trying to figure out how to use her in Doom Raid. Now we got a new damager. But just remember, the power creep is real with Scopal Boundle next. And there's going to be more damagers coming. And I don't know. I will tell you, I have 400-something promo credits. I easily can get her up to 7 red stars, but I'm really, really thinking about it and waiting for Adam Warlock to come out because I'm really not sure if I want to go that hard into a character that may be eclipsed as the best damager in 3 months or 6 months. And, a character, some of these other characters will stand the test of time better. And that's what this is about. So 4th best character to invest in. Hard not to recommend that you invest in the most, it seems to me at this time, based without having Adam Warlock in the game, based on playing only the 4, seems like the most gear dependent one, the one you want big. But a word of caution for you, I'm not really convinced she has quite so she's going to have a high peak, but I don't think she's going to have quite the longevity of some of these others. All right? And that brings me now to number 3, and that is Silver Surfer. Now, you may be saying, Silver Surfer, he's kind of on the downslope. I've actually been hearing some content creators say, Silver Surfer, less important than Gamora. Not true. For the long run, not for today. Think about this. Silver Surfer, if you're asking me, if a new player is like, who should I invest in that I know will be good by the time I'm just starting the game. I want to invest in a character that'll be good by the time I'm done with DD2, DD3, DD4, DD5. I think this guy's a safe bet. You know why? Because he does a lot of things that are pretty unique. right? He's the only character in the game that clears charges. Very valuable. We're seeing how valuable that is with Heroes for Hire. He also, by the way, of course, has a 2-turn ability block with that. But he also does so many other things very well, right? He clears all of his debuffs, throwing them on the enemy with his basic, best basic in the game. And of course, that same debuff, that same basic steals all the enemy's buffs. Amazing. Best basic in the game, in my opinion. And you see when you're using him against Heroes for Hire, how amazing it is just stripping all those buffs and putting them on himself. He takes tons and tons of turns, super fast, heals himself. I mean, this is a character that is very, very easy to recommend. Super power crept stats right now, but even when he's no longer super power crept and not the super damager he is now, there's enough in the kit itself that I think this is a character that's going to hold value for a long time. Safe bet still. So he's at number 3. All right, who do we have now? At number 2, Dr. Doom. So now last month I had Doom below Surfer. So why did Doom go up a spot? And here's why. Now that raids are becoming more important to get the blue ISO and so forth, having a character that is dual origin is just amazing. Amazing. This guy carries me through tech and Mystic nodes. He really does. In Mystic in particular, where we have some power crept characters like Thanos, Ebony Maw, and Hela, who I think will get replaced soon enough. Doom and Surfer carry me through those nodes, and Doom and Kestrel carry me through tech. Doom is amazing, and I will tell you this. There's a lot of people who crap on Doom and his kit. But here's something to remember. Not only are his stats absurd, right? I mean, look at the health and damage and armor and stuff on this guy. Not only are his stats absurd, but his kit. Think about his kit. This ultimate, okay, that you get every whatever it is, 10 turns. He gives 3 turns to himself and to 2 other members of the team. So I think, in my opinion, this is a character like Ultron, who's going to have value for a long time and going to be useful for a long time. Because even if his stats start getting power crept, I really think that Doom is a character who is going to take 2 of your other characters, your highest damager, whoever that is at the time, and another character, give them each 3 turns. Give himself 3 turns. You know, people say this is a speed-based game. It's all about turn meter. Well, he's giving you 9 turns in a row. If you can't win, forgetting the bots even exploding and killing stuff, taking 9 turns in a row is a really good way of winning. And by the way, we also love Greg, right? Greg is so awesome. People always talk about how amazing Greg is, the summon from Hela. He summons Doombots every turn. And they're pretty good. And you know what? Sometimes this can be better than Greg because they stay alive better. But you can get a whole bunch of them out there, and they can generate pings from Kestrel and other things. Super, super character. If anything, he's now a little underrated. The number 2 character to invest in because he's a safe bet. And of course, that brings us to our number 1 character. Same as last month, Kestrel. Kestrel, no doubt, easy choice for me as the number 1 character to invest in the game. Absolutely easy choice. I just did a promo of her to 6 red stars and feel very, very good about that. I'm considering whether to bring her to 7 red. I mean, just a super character. Does everything. And she is a character that will easily stand the test of time because this is a character that is also dual origin. She has single-handedly made the skill nodes from the toughest part of Doom Raid to the easiest. Super easy for me, even on difficulty 1, with 75% more damage coming in and so forth. She's the most important character in the tech nodes, even though Doom is there. And a big part of it is that, of course, that out-of-turn damage, which is amazing. When 400% damage on enemies with defense down. But, of course, she does lots of other great things. She prevents cloning and summons, as she's the only character in the game who does it. On her ultimate, which hits like a truck, you can't revive. It's got that Black Bolt factor going on there, right? I mean, you can't, and she gets herself immunity and speed up, and she has this awesome, unavoidable attack where she's spreading defense down all over the place, right? Awesome, awesome character. And of course, super power creep stats. This is a character you can be very confident if you invest in this character, she's going to be good for a long, long time. So in my view, I really think, you know, these top characters are easy to invest in. When new players have been asking me for advice, I feel very comfortable with these characters. So even though Infinity Watch is the name of the game right now and everyone's excited about Infinity Watch and they're going to rule the arena, I still think that these dual trait characters are the best characters to invest in. All right, guys, tell me if you disagree or you agree. Leave your comments below. Go to my Discord. Put your comments there. We have lots of really fun theory crafting discussions going on there. And please check out my Twitch stream. That's linked below as well. I love the feedback, love the comments. Thank you all for the great conversations we're having.